Hi, my name is Myra Cagete and welcome to another English tutorial video. Today, I will share with you some basic patterns or phrases using the word prefer. Makinig kayong maigi because at the end of this lesson, I will give you an exercise. The word prefer is a verb that is used if you want to say that you like someone or something more than another person or thing. Pwede natin gamitin ang prefer, yung verb na prefer, kung gusto nating sabihin or gusto nating ipahayag kung ano ang mas gusto natin sa dalawang bagay o sa dalawang tao. Halimbawa, paano masasabihin sa English ang mas gusto ko si Juan kaysa kay Pedro? O mas gusto ko ang kape kaysa sa tsaa? You can say those sentences in English using the phrases, I prefer someone or something to someone or something. Or, I prefer someone or something over someone or something. Yung someone or something sa patterns na yan can be a noun phrase, a gerund, or a gerund phrase. For example, I prefer Juan to Pedro. Or, I prefer Juan over Pedro. They are exactly the same. Ang ibig sabihin niyan in Filipino is, mas gusto ko si Juan kaysa kay Pedro. I prefer coffee to tea. Or, I prefer coffee over tea. They have the same meaning. Ang ibig sabihin niyan in Filipino is, mas gusto ko ang kape kaysa sa tsaa. Yung Juan, Pedro, coffee, and tea are all nouns. Yung someone or something ay pwede rin maging noun phrase. For example, I prefer these books to those books. Or, I prefer these books over those books. Yung these books at saka those books are examples of noun phrases. Now, pwede nyo rin gamitin yung gerund or gerund phrase sa patterns na yan. Ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng gerund? In my video last week where I talked about some phrases or expressions for talking about likes and interests, I explained that a gerund is a word that looks like a verb in the ing form, but it functions as a noun, okay? It does not function as a verb, it functions as a noun. For example, I love dancing. Sa sentence na yan, yung dancing is not a verb. It looks like a verb, but it is not a verb, okay? It's the act of dancing. Pagsayaw, okay? So it functions as a noun in the sentence. Ang verb dyan is love. I love dancing. I enjoy listening to music. Yung listening sa sentence na yan ay hindi verb. Although it looks like a verb in the ing form, it does not function as a verb in that sentence. It functions as a noun, okay? So, yung listening to music ay isang halimbawa ng gerund phrase because it starts with a gerund. Again, yung listening dyan ay isang gerund. It's the act of listening to music. Pakikinig sa musika. And of course, yung verb sa sentence na yan is enjoy. Balik tayo dun sa patterns using prefer. Okay, so as I said, pwede nyo rin gamitan ng gerund or gerund phrase yung patterns na yan. For example, I prefer swimming to running. Or, I prefer swimming over running. Yung swimming and running sa sentences na yan ay mga gerunds. The act of swimming and the act of running. Paglangoy at pagtakbo. Ang ibig sabihin niyan ng Filipino is, mas gusto ko ang paglangoy kaysa sa pagtakbo. I prefer washing the dishes to ironing clothes. Or, I prefer washing the dishes over ironing clothes. Yung washing the dishes and ironing clothes are examples of gerund phrases because they both start with gerunds. Ang ibig sabihin niyan in Filipino is, mas gusto ko ang paghuhugas ng mga plato kaysa sa pagpaplansya ng mga damit. Isa sa pinaka-common mistakes natin is, usually sinasabi natin, I prefer coffee than tea, for example. So, ang ginamit natin sa sentence na yan is than instead of to or over. Remember, hindi kailangang than ang gagamitin ninyo sa pattern na yan, kung hindi to or over. If you want to use less formal structures, you can say, I like someone or something better than someone or something. Or, I like someone or something more than someone or something. Ganun din, yung someone or something can be a noun phrase, a gerund, or a gerund phrase. Examples, I like coffee better than tea. Or, I like coffee more than tea. I like Juan better than Pedro. Or, I like Juan more than Pedro. I like swimming better than running. Or, I like swimming more than running. I like washing the dishes better than ironing clothes. Or, I like washing the dishes more than ironing clothes. Now, if you want to say that you want to do something more than another, ibig sabihin, mas gusto mong gawin ang isang bagay kaysa sa isang bagay. Halimbawa, mas gusto ko ang matulog kaysa manood ng TV. In English, you can say, I prefer to sleep rather than watch TV. Ang pattern na yan is, I prefer to do something rather than do something. Yung do is a verb, of course, so you can replace that with any other action verbs. Tulad na lang nung sleep at saka watch. I prefer to eat at home rather than go to the restaurant. Okay, prefer, and then to eat, rather than, and then go. Tingnan yung maigi. Pagkatapos ng rather than, kailangan walang to before the verb go. I prefer to go to the mall rather than shop online. I prefer to breastfeed my son rather than buy formula milk. Prefer, tapos to breastfeed, tapos rather than, and then buy. Before ng buy, walang to. There are several patterns or phrases that you can use if you want to express your preferences in English. But in this video, I just focused on those basic patterns actually. Pero I suggest na kapag hindi pa kayo sanay doon sa paggamit ng mga patterns na yan, mag-umpisa kayo doon sa pinakamadaling ninyong matandaan. Now, are you ready for an exercise? Let's start. If you learned something new today, please don't forget to click the like button. You can also share this video with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, please don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell right next to it so you'll be notified as soon as I upload a new video. I'll see you again next time. Bye!